everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire and today we are going to look at my accidental book haul that I ended up acquiring over the past few months. For context, obviously there was Christmas and then my birthday was in November. So between all of those things, I have gotten quite a few books, both as gifts and as like Christmas and birthday gifts to myself. So let's go over them. There's quite the variety here. Let's get started. Okay, first I'm going to start off with the two books I received as gifts from a subscriber. So thank you so much. If you've watched any of my vlogs, I did do an unboxing of these, but first and foremost, we have Joe Abercrombie's Sharp Ends. This is a collection of short stories set in the First Law Trilogy universe. I have heard nothing but good things about these short stories. If you guys are familiar with my channel at all, then you know that I am obsessed with Joe Abercrombie. I am obsessed with the First Law universe, and I'm definitely going to read the rest of his books set in this world. And then I was told to do those and then turn to the short stories, so it will probably be a few months before I get to this, but I'm excited to do so. And then this monster of a book, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I don't know a ton about this book other than it is fantasy. It is humongous. She's a relatively young debut author. There's a bit of a Asian fantasy vibe to it, which I love. I have seen it around in people's like best of the year list. I've heard nothing but positive things about it, and it just looks so cool and pretty, and I'm super excited to get into it. It does seem very intimidating, although when you open it up, the text itself doesn't seem particularly dense. So despite the fact that this book feels like a few pounds, I don't think it will actually be that difficult to get through. I'll probably save it for the summertime. So next is another gift that my friend gave me for my birthday. He's so funny. So he actually got me two books, but one of those books was Shadow and Bone, which is the first book in the Grisha Trilogy, and I already owned one set of the Grisha Trilogy. And then as a gift, I received a second limited edition set of the Grisha Trilogy, which is on my bookshelf. So I gave the first set to a friend. So it was funny that in the course of a year, I have owned 3 copies of Shadow and Bone. But the second book he got me is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Okay, I have heard sort of about this book in the sense that it's a mixed media, extremely interesting, I don't know what to call it, like collection, novel. It seems to be a strange mystery novel, but I haven't had anything like this before where it's mixed media or so experimental and non-fantasy. I haven't read a non-fantasy book in a while. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how long it will take me to get through. It will be a interesting reading experience. Another birthday gift that I received, well, someone else paid for, and I picked this out at Barnes & Noble because I have heard so much about it, nothing but positive things, and that is Sorcery of Thornes by Margaret Robinson. It is a standalone romance YA fantasy novel. Like I said, I have just heard nothing but super positive things about this story, that it's fun and romantic and fast-paced and exciting. I've seen it also in people's top picks of the year. I have known for a while that I've wanted to pick this book up. I want to read it in February. I'm planning on reading a lot of romances in that month, so this is definitely going to be one of them. If you have watched any of my vlogs, then you would have seen me unpack this recently. My friend from Hawaii sent this to me, which was really thoughtful and cute of her. And it's a little book called Be More Witch by Alison Davies. Seems to be like a inspirational with a little bit of a witch or witchcraft vibe. Believing in yourself, like just one of those uplifting daily encouragement sort of books. And there's cute little spells and mantras having to do mostly with feeling better, feeling empowered. I don't know, it's really cute. She wrote a little note to me on the inside. It's very sweet coming from her, very fitting. So these next few books are ones that I picked for myself, and I got them all in December because it's like, well, it's Christmas time, so I can treat myself. First and foremost is One Dark Throne by Kendra Blake, and this is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns that I read last year, almost exactly a year ago. I have been thinking about picking up the sequel for such a long time. I saw it and I was like, I need to get it. If you haven't read Three Dark Crowns, it's about triplet sisters with various types of powers, like one has elemental magic, one has nature magic, and one can ingest any poison and large quantities of poison and not die. They're being trained by their various like clans on this island, and then they have to come together and fight to see who's going to be the queen for the next generation. But the poison girl seems really weak, and the nature girl doesn't seem to be quite right, and the elemental sister has fond memories of her sister that she's not supposed to remember. It was a very dramatic YA read, and I have been thinking about returning to it for a while, so I'm glad that I finally picked up the sequel to it. I've wanted to pick up this book solely because of the cover since last summer, and that is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. It's a YA retelling of The Little Mermaid, but very dark and moody and brooding. I liked the cover. I haven't read a ton of fairy tale retellings, but I am drawn to them. I think they're fun, and I like the idea of getting very dark with the stories or just having a different point of view around them. So I am also excited to get to this, and I will also probably save this for more of a summertime read. So the last one I picked up almost solely because of the cover. I have heard nothing about this, so I'm going into it pretty blind, but it sounds cool. And that is The Genevieve Deception by Kiersten White. So like I said, I think the cover looks dope. Genevieve, who's this like magical witchy babe, marries King Arthur so that she can be his live-in bodyguard. I like the King Arthur vibe and being in Camelot and Merlin's involved, but that this girl is protecting them, and it just sounds like romantic but action-packed, which is my favorite combination in fantasy, especially YA fantasy. I don't know what to expect from a story like this, and that makes me really excited. So those are my books in my latest book haul. I'm definitely trying to be ambitious with the amount of books I'm reading this year. I think this seems like a very promising lot. Let me know if you've read any of these books down in the comments below and what you think of them, and any other books that you suggest for me to read for the upcoming 2020. Make sure to like this sort of video and to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more book or writing related content in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!